Hey boys and girls, today we're going to focus on a math lesson that I want you to watch. I want you to watch this before you actually do your activity. So today, it says on our whiteboard, today we are creating a 2D shape from other 2D shapes. So I have some examples here on the board that I want you to look at. We're going to be looking at making this square out of triangles, and then we're going to look at making this trapezoid out of triangles and a square. So you've got to kind of be creative today with your math lesson and figure out how you can do this. I'm using construction paper squares to create my shapes. You don't have to do that at all. You can just go ahead and you draw the shapes on paper and maybe like color the shapes on the inside a different color. You can do it however you want. You can be as creative as you want with this lesson. But I'm just showing you a couple examples on my whiteboard. I also hope that you were able to watch the lesson, the two visual learning lessons on Pearson. Mrs. C and I asked for you guys to do that first because those are some other examples that we wanted you to see before you went off and did this on your own. Okay, so here's my first one. It's a square, okay? And will tell you boys and girls, I am having a little bit of a hard time figuring out how to position my camera and to make you see the board and see me at the same time, so bear with me, okay? This is the square that we're going to create. We're going to use my yellow construction paper triangles to create that square. So if we look at the square has 4 corners or vertices and 4 sides. The triangle has 3 squares, I'm sorry. 3 corners or vertices and 3 sides. So how could I put this triangle inside my square so that it would fit? So let's see. Does that fit? Do corners match corners and edges match edges? Nope, that doesn't work, so I'm going to take it off. Let's see what else we could do. If I turn it, now remember these shapes are always the same shape, no matter if you turn it, you flip it, whatever you're going to do with it. So I'm gonna turn it and I'm gonna see if I can match corner to corner. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So that looks like it's about 1/2 of the square. Now I'm going to take my other triangle and I'm going to see how I can fit my second triangle in using the rest of the space that the square has. So let's see. Okay. I'm sorry, this tape is... This is so fun, distance learning, isn't it? Yes, it is. All right, so here we go. Let's see if I can put this in here. Let me move it a little bit, see if I can get it to fit. And now it's not perfect, but it will show you how the 2 triangles, when you move them, when you flip them and you rotate them, you can fit them in. Now my 2 triangles created a square. I used other shapes to create a 2D shape that I already know. Let's look at the other one I have. I have a trapezoid here, 2 triangles and a square. I'm going to start with the square. Now the trapezoid has 4 sides. It's a quadrilateral, but how can I get the square to fit in? I can turn it. Does that fit there on the edge? No. Let's see. I can see the top of the trapezoid is flat, and so is the bottom. I'm going to try to go straight in the middle. Okay, if I put my square straight up in the middle, then my 2 triangles, let's see if we can get them to fit on the edges, on the sides. So there's one, and there's 2. And I just turned them and flipped them. Now look, I used 3 shapes there to create a trapezoid. okay? You're gonna do this today for your math lesson, boys and girls. You do not have to cut out squares and triangles and rectangles. You do not have to do that. You can just use a piece of paper. You can just draw the shape that you want to create using other shapes. You can just draw them on a piece of paper, and then inside that shape you can draw the other shapes that you're using to build the new shape. The second part of our math lesson for today, I erased my board because I want you to see, today you're going to also create a 3D shape, okay? So that was the first part of the lesson. The first part of the lesson was making the 2D shape out of other 2D shapes. The second part of the lesson is to create a 3D shape. Now you can use any materials you have around your home to create this shape. And then for Mrs. C and I to see your shape that you created, we would love a picture of you. Maybe mom or dad can take a picture of you and then upload that onto your assignments in EdSpy. Let me show you what I use to create my 3D shape. So I'm gonna try to come a little closer. So can you see what I made? I made a cube, and I used gummies, fruit snacks. Dylan likes to eat these. So I have a lot of these at home in my pantry. So I used fruit snacks and I used toothpicks, and I created a 3D shape. I made a cube. Notice the bottom of the shape is started with my 2D shape, which is a square. And then I built it around using that. So if this was my shape that I was going to create, I would say, Mom, I'm done, take a picture of me. And then I would send it to Mrs. C and Mrs. Weber. Now you don't have to use that kind of material. If you rather use Play-Doh, maybe you have Play-Doh at home and you can create a 3D shape using Play-Doh. That would be fun. Maybe you don't have any real materials at home. Maybe it's too hard to draw it, so maybe you're just gonna take a picture using objects in your house. So maybe you're gonna just use a canister of oats. This is a cylinder, and this is my tissue box for the bathroom. And look, when I stack them, what did I make? Can you tell what I made? A flag. I made a flag. This is the flagpole, this is the flag. I'm being creative, I'm using my imagination, and I am using different materials in my home to create one 3D shape. That's your math activity for today. For today, remember, you're going to create a 2D shape using other shapes. You can just draw them. If you want to cut them out and create them the way I did, that's fine. You don't have to do that. And you're also going to create a 3D shape using objects you have in your home or materials that you have around your house. So be creative. Mrs. C and I can't wait to see your pictures. Thank you so much, and let us know if you need anything. See you soon.